Plenty of experiences.
Clark again. Another three for Clark.
Did Caitlin Clark deserve to be left out of this year's Olympics? Or is she just a victim of some questionable decisions by Cheryl Reeve? The Paris 2024 Olympics are here, and Team USA is hitting the court without one of the most electrifying players in women's basketball. Now let's go back to 2021. Clark wore the USA jersey and dominated the FIBA Women's World Cup. She didn't just win, she dominated, earning the tournament MVP title and leading the USA to gold. So what changed? How did we go from the future of women's basketball to not even on the Olympic roster? This decision has caused an uproar in the basketball world, leaving fans and analysts scratching their heads. Is Clark really not good enough for Team USA? Or is there something else happening behind the scenes? But hold on, because this story gets even more interesting. While the Olympics are in full swing, Clark is taking some well-deserved time off. After almost a year of non-stop basketball, she's finally taking a break. But is this break a blessing in disguise or a missed opportunity of epic proportions? Make sure to subscribe to the channel because we're about to dissect this controversy, dive into Clark's incredible journey, and explore what this all means for her future with the Indiana Fever. Trust me, you don't want to miss a second of this. Alright, let's rewind and dive into Caitlin's meteoric rise, starting with her impressive performance at the 2021 FIBA Women's World Cup. This tournament wasn't just a win for Team USA, it was Clark's debut on the international stage. Picture this, Hungary, summer of 2021. The best young basketball talents from around the world gather, but one player stands out above the rest. She didn't just play, she dominated. Every game was a showcase of impossible three-point shots, no-look passes that left defenders bewildered, and clutch plays that brought fans to their feet. But it wasn't just about style. Clark's stats were astounding. In the crucial matchup against Australia in the group stage, she posted numbers that made people check the stat sheet twice. 24 points, 5 three-pointers, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals, and remember, this was against Australia, not just any team. The final score, 99-59 USA, a 40-point blowout. But what's even more impressive is that Clark didn't slow down. She maintained this level of play throughout the tournament, leading Team USA to gold and earning the tournament MVP title for herself. It wasn't just a good performance, it was a statement. Caitlin Clark had arrived on the world stage and she was here to stay. This tournament wasn't just a flash in the pan, it was a glimpse into the future of women's basketball. Clark showed she could compete and dominate against the best young talent in the world. She proved she had the skills, basketball IQ, and competitive fire to excel at the highest levels. So when we fast forward to today and see Clark left off the Olympic roster, it's not just surprising, it's downright baffling. How does a player go from tournament MVP, from being the driving force behind a gold medal, to not even making the cut? This decision raises a lot of questions. Has Clark's game regressed in some way, or is there something else at play here? After being drafted by the Indiana Fever, Clark didn't just adapt to the professional game, she revolutionized it. From day one, Clark has exceeded expectations and shattered records. Remember those doubters who questioned whether Clark's game would translate to the WNBA? Well, those takes aged like milk. Let's talk numbers, because in Clark's case, they tell a story of pure domination. In the last 10 games before the All-Star break, Clark averaged an impressive 18.5 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 11.4 assists per game. But it's not just about the stats, it's about the impact. Clark's court vision and passing ability have transformed the Fever's offense. She's not just scoring, she's making everyone around her better. That assist number? It's not a typo. Clark is dishing out assists at a rate that makes veterans and coaches shake their heads in disbelief. But here's where it gets really interesting. In a game against Cheryl Reeve's team, yes, the same Cheryl Reeve who doubted her, Clark broke the single-game WNBA assist record with 19 assists. In the All-Star game playing again under Reeve's watchful eye, Clark broke another assist record. It's like she's on a mission to prove her doubters wrong, one spectacular play at a time. This level of play hasn't just impressed fans and analysts, it's changed the face of the WNBA. Since Clark's arrival, the league has seen a spike in ticket sales and TV ratings. She's not just a great player, she's a phenomenon, drawing new fans to the sport and elevating the profile of women's basketball. But here's the kicker. Despite all this success, despite proving herself time and time again, Clark finds herself on the outside when it comes to Team USA. It's a decision that has left many scratching their heads and questioning the judgment of those in charge. Could it be that the skills that make Clark a star in the WNBA are being overlooked or undervalued by the national team selectors? Or is there something else at play here? Now let's shift our focus to what this Olympic exclusion and the surrounding controversy mean for Caitlin Clark's future with the Indiana Fever. Because make no mistake, this situation has the potential to reshape not just Clark's career, but the entire landscape of the WNBA. Clark is reportedly happy in Indiana. She's getting along well with teammates like Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell. But as we all know, in professional sports, things can change faster than a Clark no-look pass. Here's the thing, the Indiana Fever isn't just another team for Clark, it's the franchise that believed in her enough to make her the #1 overall pick. It's the team that is building its entire future around her extraordinary talents. But with great talent comes great responsibility and great expectations. Clark isn't just playing for herself, she's playing for a franchise that's hungry for success. The Fever hasn't made the playoffs since 2016, and they're counting on Clark to change that. But here's where it gets tricky. Clark values winning a lot. And if the Fever can't build a winning team around her, well, that's when things could get interesting. First off, let's be clear. The Fever isn't going to trade Clark unless they get an offer they absolutely can't refuse. We're talking a package that would make even the most experienced GMs think twice. That's why the Fever needs to stay sharp. They need to surround Clark with the right pieces, make smart trades, and create a winning culture. Because if they don't, they risk losing not just a generational talent, but the face of women's basketball. For years, the sport has been dominated by established stars, but with Clark's arrival, we're seeing a seismic shift. She's not just a great player, she's a transformative force that's reshaping the entire landscape of the game. Consider this, since Clark entered the league, the WNBA has seen a significant uptick in ticket sales, TV ratings, and overall interest. She's not just filling seats, she's creating new fans. People who've never watched a WNBA game before are tuning in to see what all the fuss is about, and once they see Clark play, they're hooked. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's impact goes beyond her individual performances. She's changing the way the game is played, her long-range shooting, court vision, her ability to make plays that leave defenders scratching their heads. It's forcing other teams to adapt. Coaches are rethinking their strategies, players are expanding their skill sets, all in an effort to keep up with the Clark effect. Now, back to the Olympic exclusion. On the surface, it seems like a huge mistake, but could it actually be a symptom of a bigger problem in women's basketball? Are decision makers stuck in an outdated mindset, unable to fully appreciate the new style of play that Clark represents? This controversy has sparked a much-needed conversation about the future of the sport. It's forcing people to question old assumptions about what makes a great basketball player. And in the long run, this debate could lead to positive changes that benefit the entire sport. But let's not forget about the Indiana Fever in all this. They're in a unique position. They have the most talked about player in women's basketball on their roster. The question is, can they capitalize on this opportunity? Can they build a team and a culture that not only showcases Clark's talents, but also competes for championships? The Fever's actions in the next few years will be crucial. They need to surround Clark with the right pieces, create a system that maximizes her skills, and foster a winning culture. If they can do that, they won't just be building a successful team. They'll be at the forefront of a new era in women's basketball. As we look to the future, one thing is clear. Caitlin Clark is more than just a player. She's a phenomenon that's forcing the entire basketball world to evolve. Whether it's the WNBA, Team USA, or the global basketball community, everyone will have to adapt to this new reality. And if Clark leads the Fever to a championship in her rookie year, how would that change the narrative around her Olympic exclusion? Or what if the Olympic team struggles without her? Could we see a major overhaul in how Team USA is selected in the future? And here's a wild thought. Could Clark's success and the controversy surrounding her actually lead to structural changes in the WNBA itself? Are we on the verge of a new era in professional women's basketball? Let me know in the comments what you really think about all this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the next video.